It was 1:15 in the morning. My eyes felt heavy, and I was still sat playing my video game, even though I had to work the next morning. And this was a regular occurrence to me where I became completely hooked on just playing video games and effectively was just trying to escape from my reality. And this at the time made sense because at the time I felt that at that position, I didn't want to face my current reality. I didn't want to look and realize that where I was just simply where I wasn't, where I didn't want it to be. And so it felt so much easier to go away and to just numb myself from that pain. And I've seen it a lot with myself, but I know I've spoken to other guys who do a similar habit where if the current lifestyle that you have, if the way you're living just isn't where you want it to be, if perhaps you try and make promises to yourself but you keep falling back on it, then it just becomes more and more tempting to just keep trying to numb yourself. Whether that, for me, that's video games. For you, that might be social media or something else. Some people obviously choose alcohol and such, but and if you're a guy who has had to feel like you have had to numb yourself because perhaps the pain has been too much, like I can really understand that. And the way I was able to at least start getting myself out of that rut was just first asking myself the question of what feeling I was chasing. Because I'd ask myself, what is it that I'm getting? So for me, what is it that I'm getting from video games that I'm not currently getting in my own life? Right? Right. What's that feeling? For me, that feeling was a sense of achievement. Now, at the time, I was working on my business. I was trying to build up, build up and build like a business, sign clients, and I just wasn't really getting anywhere. And so, because I wasn't finding that satisfaction and fulfillment from that, I would escape and try and find it in other means. Which I think us as humans, it's like, well, you can't really blame yourself for that. However, it is important to be able to recognize it. And at the time, I didn't really recognize it because I never asked myself that question. But now I realize, okay, well, if that's actually why I'm playing the games to begin with, then how can I get it from another means, right? Because ideally speaking, you want to find a better means because you're always going to want that feeling. It's just a matter of where you get that feeling from. Just like how people might be able to get the feeling of intimacy or sort of love from some level by watching maybe things like porn. I know it's not great, but sometimes a very smidge of that feeling is enough. So what I'd really say is, like, for me, the most important thing, or the thing that really helped me, which is asking myself that question of just where, like effectively what feeling am I getting from this said bad habit, and where else can I find it in the stuff that I could be doing. So for me, it was transitioning from playing video games chronically all the time to learning how to make video games. And I mean, I've got a devlog channel on YouTube, but for the last couple of months, I've been building my own video game. I should be able to get a demo out for the game probably in the next like 30 days, and definitely a full release game by the end of the year. And that's really exciting because I'm able to take the part where I do like playing video games, right? I like obviously, a lot of the things around video games, and I'm able to make my own. Right, I can make my own video game. I can make my own and help recreate that feeling, that I quite like for other people, right? But I can just, generally speaking, I can put what I'm currently doing and just get more satisfaction and achievement out of what I would get through game development. And that's really cool, right? And obviously, another thing is I'm using this stuff to actually create content and speaking about things that I'm passionate about, speaking about things which I believe, if I can at least help someone else who's in a similar situation or sort of resonate with sort of you as the viewer, then that's ideal as well. But ask yourself that question. Ask yourself, I mean, if you're dealing with whatever bad habit or you just want to fix something, get more consistent in something, just ask yourself where you're currently, getting that feeling from, what that feeling is, And then from there, that's when I would say you can start taking steps in the right direction.